Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to learn about elements. So we have already understood what is mixtures and substances in the previous video. We also know what is matter. So let us proceed ahead and learn something new today. Okay, so now can you see certain objects on your screen now? Like pencil, apple, book, bag and board. These are all real world examples which you see around you, right? Now all the substances which you see around you are made up of extremely tiny particles, and when these tiny particles combine together we are able to see these objects, but those tiny particles are nothing but the molecules. Okay, so we say that all objects are made up of extremely tiny particles, and these particles are called as molecules. But these molecules are made up of something which is smaller than it also, and those are atoms. Okay, so basically if you see in this picture the pink color and the green color and the blue colored one, can you see this? These are called as the atoms. Here, this one, this and this is one, green is one atom, pink one is the other atom. Yes, when these atoms combine they form molecules. Okay, but these atoms of similar type, like this pink atom has combined and it has formed one molecule, and this is the another molecule. Now, when different types of atoms combine with each other, they form compounds. Like in the next one, if you see here, see, this was atom, this is molecule, whereas compound is made up of two or more different types of atoms. Okay, so once this is clear to you, it becomes very easy for us to understand what is elements. Okay, so what we need to remember is that every object is made up of small tiny particles, and these particles are called as molecules. But these molecules are also made up of something which is much smaller than it, which is called as atoms. We cannot see one single atom with our naked eyes, but when millions of atoms combine together, okay, then we are able to see them with our eyes. Now let us proceed ahead. Look, what do you see in this picture? There are two pictures shown here. The first one is the salt which we use in our food, which is called as a common salt. Okay, and the next one is the copper wires. Yes, copper. Now, what if I tell you that can we break this salt or can we break this copper? What will happen? But before understanding that, let us understand the structure of these. When you observe the structure of these common salt, no, they appear like this. The salt is made up of two types of atoms, that is Na and Cl. Okay, if you see here, it is made up of two. This is the bigger one, can you see, and this is a smaller one. So it is made up of two different types of atoms, which is called as sodium and chlorine. Okay, whereas copper is looks like this. It is made up of all copper atoms. Okay, now if I try to break this, and this, what will happen? When I break, I will get two different types of atoms. I'll get Na and Cl, because this salt is made up of Na and Cl. But if I break this copper, what will I get? I'll get different types of atoms, but these atoms are all going to be similar, right? So such structure like NaCl, such substances which are made up of two or more different types of atoms are called as compounds, whereas the substances which are made up of only one type of atom, they are called as elements. Okay, so I hope it is clear what is elements. We are going to study in detail about these elements further. So what is an element? A substance whose molecules are made up of one or more atoms which are exactly alike. Alike means similar. So as you saw the copper wire, it was made up of only copper atoms. Yes. So substances are called as, such substance is called as element. So what are the common elements? There are many elements. There are 118 elements, children. But after the common elements which we know are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, gold, silver, and iron. So if you take a gold bar and you try to break it, you will get gold atoms only. You'll not get something else into it. or you take a silver and you try to break it further, what will happen? You'll get silver atoms. Okay, so it will be only one type of atom. So such substances are called as elements. Next, we do not get different substances by decomposition of an element. So that's what I said now, that when we break it, we are going to get same type of, when you'll break the gold, what will happen? You'll get the gold. When you try to decompose, or the particles, you'll try to find out the particles within the gold. Those all particles will be made up of gold only, and nothing else will be in it. Then elements are most of the times denoted by the symbols, because there are many elements and it becomes very difficult for us to write it and to use it in our day-to-day life. So they are commonly denoted by the symbols. Okay, like for example, if you see, nitrogen is an element which is denoted by symbol N. Then you have sodium, which is denoted by Na. Now why is it so? I'll tell you that later. Now, chlorine, carbon, and cobalt. You can see they are denoted by Cl, C, and Co. So these are the symbols which are used for denoting the various elements. So elements are denoted by symbols when the initial letter in the names of the two or more elements is same. A pair of letter is used to write the symbol. Means what? That see, like for example, the chlorine, carbon, and cobalt. See, normally we take the first alphabet of our element, like for example, nitrogen. So we have N here. Okay. So similarly in chlorine, now if we take only the first letter, then chlorine, carbon, and cobalt, all three are having the same letter C. So how will we identify? So in such case, we add one more letter to it, either the second letter or the third letter. Like for example, in chlorine, they have taken this first and the third letter, whereas in carbon, they have taken only one, and cobalt, they have taken the first and the second both. Okay, so in this way, when you have the first letter similar, also here you can see hydrogen and helium, first letter is similar, H and H. So for that, what they have done is that hydrogen is denoted by H, so helium is denoted by He. So this is how we name certain letters. Then you will say that why iron is named as Fe, because iron is normally known as ferrum, and that is why it is taken as Fe. Okay, the various names which you'll be studying when you'll go in higher classes. Okay, so now further let us proceed. Classification of elements. Elements are usually classified into metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Okay, so these are the three categories. Let us understand them. Now, if you see here, what do you see here? That is a metal here. So what are these metals? These are the commonly seen metals that we observe in our day-to-day life. These metals have the property of malleability, ductility, conductivity of heat and electricity. They conduct heat and electricity. They have luster, means they have shine. They are sonorous, means they make sound. Okay, so all these properties, the ductility and malleability, all these things we have studied in the lower classes. If we know, these metals can be broken down into sheets, so that is called as malleability, or we can make wires out of it, which is called as ductility. So all these things we can do with the help of the metals, whereas metals, non-metals, do not show any properties of the metals, like they are not shiny in structure. They cannot be, we cannot make a sheet of it, we cannot make a wire of it. They are not good conductors of heat and electricity. So the properties which metals have, these non-metals do not have. The example is carbon and sulfur. And then there are certain category of elements which are called as metalloids. These metalloids sometimes show the properties of metals and sometimes the properties of non-metals. Okay, so the common examples are these: arsenic, germanium, silicon. All these are the commonly known metalloids. Okay, thank you.